This is from I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson. It wasn't that fun to shoot because I got real roughed up. Hey there, I'm Andy Samberg, and Esquire has asked me to take a look back at some things from my own life and career. And I'm sure it's going to go great, so let's do it. Here we go. This was me and Bill Hader's first episode, and we wrote this update feature, and it got on, and it worked, and I got laughs. We were buddies instantly, and we auditioned at the same time, and we flew to New York to be hired at the same time and to get something on together. It was really exciting, and I remember the premise for it was my idea. It was basically an impression off because I knew Bill was incredible at impressions, and I was not. So I wanted to figure out a way to basically hitch my wagon to his talent train and get laughs in the process, and it worked. I tricked everybody. This is one of my favorite camera jokes. I'm very flattered, obviously. I'm not sure how my wife would feel about being covered up so many times by someone else. Seems like an upstanding young person. Well, I definitely see it, especially before I cut my hair shorter, like my SNL days. This looks a lot like how I used to look when my hair was long. The tie is a little thicker than I might prefer. That's a chunky knot right there. I don't really know much about Estonia, I'll be real, but I know that I now have a cousin there. Yes, this is the first time I believe that I ever had a role on television, and it just happened to be on my favorite show at the time, Arrested Development. I was obsessed with Mr. Show, so being there with David Cross was like the most intense, exciting thing I could have possibly imagined. But yeah, that was me back there with my pre-SNL look, with hair that Seth Meyers described as looked like it was eating my head.
Stop! Ow, what?
This is from I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson. It wasn't that fun to shoot because I got real roughed up, but it came out pretty good. And man, Tim's so funny. I love those guys. I'm so happy about their show. Hopefully we'll be able to get back to shooting soon so they can start actually shooting season 2, because that's coming, and we're all excited.
The coconut for best beard on the island goes to Ned.
Yes! Oh, in your face!
Awesome Town was a pilot presentation deal we got at Fox. We were all just little scrubs back then. It was the Lonely Island sketch show, essentially. They gave us a little chunk of money, and we shot some stuff in studio, and some stuff we just went and shot on our own. This picture we're looking at was from a segment called Castaways, which was really about beards more than being stranded. Young man stuff. None of us could really grow good beards at all. Not that we can now, but really couldn't then. So it was very funny to us at that time to point out how bad at growing beards we were, a theme that continued on through much of our work. Man, I'm missing that bod. We've officially been traded from Team Funny to Team Hot. Oh, good! Does that mean we don't get to be funny anymore? Yeah, Mulaney's the best. He's my buddy. I love him. I've got a really serious beard look going on there. Like, I look a little bit like the dad from an 80s sitcom or something. So if that's what people think is hot, I'm in good shape, because that's pretty much the next 20 years of my life we're looking at right there. Wow. This looks like middle school, yeah. I got my flat top rocking. Had not gone through puberty in any way, shape, or form yet. I look like a little dinky baby. Good times. Willard's a great school. I'm sometimes nostalgic for it, even though it was junior high, and it's some of the most heart-wrenching things you go through. Berkeley, I miss it. It's the best. Yeah, I did Finding Your Roots on PBS. My mother was adopted and never knew who her parents were. So when they approached me about doing Finding Your Roots, I said, I'll do it if you think you have a legitimate shot of figuring out who my grandparents were on my mother's side, because I knew it was something really important to her that she wanted to know. So I did it, and it worked. They figured out everything. It was so mind-blowing. It just filled in all these blanks for our family, and especially for her, and for it to have happened this late in her life was truly spectacular. I mean, it changed our family forever. This is the key art for the new movie Palm Springs that I'm promoting. How fortuitous. It's a movie that I'm really happy about and proud of. We produced it and I'm in it with Kristen Milioti, and it went to Sundance, and now it's premiering on Hulu July 10th. I'm very excited. I knew Chelsea growing up. We went to the same elementary school and lived 2 blocks away from each other growing up. We weren't good friends, but we also weren't not friends, if that makes sense. I knew that Chelsea was like the other funny person in my class. This was me really living my best life. So that's about it. Thanks for joining me for another edition of Explain This. I'm Andy Samberg, and you have watched this.